Hello folks, sorry, let me turn my music down, I forgot that bit. Hello folks, how you doing? Welcome to day 12 of November of our daily 2-hour speed materials. Today's material is going to be based on the prompt Ancient. So, let me show you what I'm thinking of doing. I'm thinking of doing something along the lines of some ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs. Not the big arty picture ones, just some of the simpler, smaller stuff like this winky face emoji. But I want this kind of quality rock going on behind it. So we're going to be strapped for time again. I feel like this is going to be like when we did the Photoshop layers. There's lots of small, symbol-y looking stuff. We're not going to have time to do loads of it, but we can do some of it and then repeat it. Luckily, a lot of it does seem to repeat quite often. So you never know. We might be able to get some nice results at the end of this. But yeah, I'm not certain exactly what I'm aiming for yet. I'm thinking, like, I like these sort of vertical bars here. Now there's a horizontal version here as well with loads in it. So maybe we could try something like that. One of those two. But I kind of like the layout of this one, but obviously without the figures. So let's play it by ear. Let's just see what happens. You know, you can only do so much. So let's jump right in. Hopefully everything sounds okay. Hopefully my mic isn't crackling today. Because, again, stupid Windows messes with my drivers. Exciting indeed. Very exciting. Right, so first things first, reset the timer. Because I ain't doing this in 154. I'm doing it in 2. That's what the timer's for. There we go. Okay, timer is done. I'm on the right screen. Let's crack on. Sounding good. Why, thank you. Okay, so step 1. We're going to pick a thing to make. So should we go for winky face emoji since he seems to be in this quite often? I noticed there's one like this with the open eye on the left, and then there's one that's flipped with the open eye on the right. I know it's not a winky face emoji, by the way, folks. It's just I keep seeing it and it's all I can see. It's like, it makes you think, is this how far ahead they were? I mean, they obviously were. Think about it, like, this is ancient, which means it's way beyond old. This is thousands of years old. And they were using emojis before the invention of the mobile phone. So, yeah, let's go. Let's make a winky face. Ow. Right, winky face. Let's just get on with a cheeky little winky boy. Okay, so shape. Actually, we're going to do the background rock as well, probably first. But whilst we're here, let's just quickly make Winky Boy, just to see what we're up against today. So hopefully everyone's doing well today. Hopefully you've all had a quite lovely Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday, so there's always something to look forward to. I really like Fridays. Friday evening is the best day, the best time of the week, because it's the bit where you're the furthest possible time from being at work. Which, to be fair, I love my job, so it doesn't really matter that much. But, you know, it's nice when people get to have a break. I'm just in the mood to do some Japanese learning stuff. I've been playing Yakuza just before coming up to do this, and it's re-inspired me to learn the language, which is good. I should be doing that. That's what I'm supposed to be doing all the time. You know, let's be cheeky with this. Let's plug this in here. Let's just chop the bottom off. Skadoosh. There we go. 50% down. In fact, I'm going to make this a solid shape because then I'll give it a shadow that will match it all. Actually, I'm going to give this a solid shape as well because that way we can affect all of them with the same shadow. With the same, not shadow, the same non-uniform blur. And that will give us the same kind of bevel to it. So where are you? Disk, there you are. Blend these two together. And we need to transform them so that they're in the right place. Which is easy enough to do, isn't it? Ooh, hey, easy tiger. I went a little bit overboard with that then. There we go. Winky face, as Diva would say. Transform that one. I like this song. It's got kind of a Halloweeny vibe to it. Let's crank it up a little bit. There we go. It's a bit better, isn't it? All safe to use, all DMCA free and whatnot. Okay, so get these about the same height. Something like that. Not perfect, but you know, it's a little bit squashed as well. Okay, that looks about right. And then we're going to get another shape and we're going to make the mouth bit. Again, this is a disc that's about half cut off. So I'm going to do that again. One of your friends has bought a mini kebab cooker thing like what they've got in the chippy and is making her own doner kebabs. That is a lifestyle choice that I highly approve of. I would love a doner kebab machine in my house. Although I would definitely be dead by now. If I had one of them, I would be in just heart attack city. Because you can't just stop, you know, if you've had a kebab the night before and you know you've got the option to make another one tonight, you're going to make another one. Them's the rules. I don't make them, but I'll stick to them. That's an amazing, just an amazing thing to own. I wonder how much that costs to get a mini kebab machine. I mean, I'm not looking for one, but you know, I wouldn't say no to one at the same time. Actually, I probably would, because like I said, the aforementioned death. 50 quid on Amazon. Man, you shouldn't have told me that. That's way too cheap. It's not cheap, but you know what I mean. It's way cheaper than I was expecting. Like, for example, if you look online for like a proper coffee machine that they use in the coffee shops, it's like, you know, 8 grand or something stupid like that. So you expect a doner kebab machine, a proper one in the chippy, to be like, you know, 2 or 3 grand or something crazy. So to find out you can get one for home for 50 quid, it's mad. Team that with the ice cream roll and plates, and that's a good night in. You know what? You're not far off. You triple team that with our grabber machine filled with sweets. You got yourself a winner. Alright, I'm trying to bend a bit of shape into this. Is that one just carved a bit weird, or does it have a little chip off the left? Oh no, it's just carved weird. Okay, it's just worn away. In that case, yeah, we'll stick to these shapes for now, and then we'll add this warp later. So get rid of you. Bye. Okay, blend. How long have we got left? 154. 154. That's what I was telling you before. I don't remember what that's from. I think it's from a Family Guy episode, but I always get it stuck in my head. Hopefully it's nothing offensive. I feel like it's like a TV show within Family Guy or something. I can't remember now. You need to move down just a smidge, please. Move over a smidge too. There we are, that's looking a bit more like it. There we go. So we've got winky eye emoji. That one is done. Let's call it done, because we're going to add some warp and stuff to it later. So, you know, for now it looks alright. Let's see. Actually, we can add the warp in now. Why not? Let's go crazy. So just a little bit of warping. Nothing super fancy, but just enough. And then later on we can add some bevels, add some non-uniform blurs, add some slope edge blurs. Oh, it's going to look good. Okay, so that's that one sorted. So we've got our little teaser for what's to come. That wasn't too bad to get together, because obviously it's pretty simple shapes, but there's a lot in here that are fairly simple shapes, but some of them are quite complex. So we'll do the simple ones first, fill out what we can, and then replace them with more concept ones, more advanced ones if we get time. Complex, that's the word I was thinking of. I just changed it in my head, but I meant complex. That's something I learned when starting to do my Japanese stuff. Is that, you know, they say if you don't know a word for something, rather than just giving up and saying the word in English, try and find something that means a similar thing that you know. So that was what I did then. But in English, my own language. I just forgot the word. Right, let's make this rocky, stony background. So it's like a sandstone. Well, it is a sandstone. And it's just really gritty, really soft. I like it. I like it a lot. So let's do that, and then we can maybe add some like brick lines in it as well, because it's usually done on slate, not slate, on slabs of this stone. So you can see here we've got this big breakup. We can maybe add that kind of thing going on, but first let's go get this background in. So let's see, it's like I said, it's quite soft. It's a spongy looking rock, if that makes any kind of sense. So for spongy, I'm going to go with Old Faithful Clouds 2 with a cheeky little bit of a blur on it. Nothing drastic, not like a crazy blur, but enough to give it a little bit of softness. I'm going to plug it in as well so I can see what it's doing, because that is beneficial to everybody. Otherwise, you're just working in the dark and everyone's like, what's going on? And I can only say, I don't know. So let's fix that, shall we? Whoop whoop, I forgot to turn my phone off vibrate, so it doesn't annoy you lovely folks. There we go. Set my watch to do not disturb. I'm a busy boy. There we go. Wait, did that work? Yes. I thought my fat finger missed it. But we're good. Alright, so we've got this so far. Literally just plugged in a cloud, so there's nothing else done to it apart from the blur. So let's make it softer. Obviously it looks really blurry, that's the point, but we can sorry, we can keep working with it to adjust that. Actually, I might just use a pale in noise. Pale in noise is already quite soft without being weird looking. Nah, don't like it. Don't like it. Okay, so what was I about to do? I was about to do something important. Oh yeah, that was it. I think we're going to stick with parallax again today because we're working into the shape, so there's no point in using tessellation for that because it's just going to give us weird edges. Tessellation's best for when things are coming out of stuff, like a cobbled floor or something like that, whereas we're going into a shape, we're carving into something. So let's stick with parallax, but let's give it some sort of height. So let's go to edit, scale, set it to 2, to 1. Just set it to 1 for now. Okay, so I don't like how blurry this is. I know it sounds stupid. I blur it and then I complain about how blurry it is. But that's how it works. Sometimes you just keep playing. Why are you not changing? That's the question. That was weird. What was it doing there? Okay, now it's changing. It was just a bit laggy, I think. I think I was a bit laggy then, it sounded strange. You know you streamed a lot in a month when you get used to your royalty-free soundtrack to the playlist that is allowed to be played. So if I crank that right up, it looks alright. But I'll tell you what, let's add some transforms to this. It's feeling a bit specific, a bit patterny. We don't want that. Let's get stretchy. I know this is going to make it stop tiling. I can fix that in a minute. That already looks a lot better. I'm going to adjust how strong that is as well. Oh wait, not the blur, the blend. Actually no, I like how strong that is. I'm just going to reduce how how high the white level is. Actually, I'm going to reduce the black level. It's multiplied, isn't it? Oh, you need it. I quite like how soft it was, but alright, something like that should do, I think. Just a little smidge. Yeah, somewhere around there. Happy. Okay, let's just play with the blur a sec. Now, I know we're softening that off quite a bit, but we're going to add detail on top as well, and that should help bring back some of that shape. And if not, we can always come back and adjust the blur. That's the beauty of a node-based workflow, which is why November is so important, so people learn what nodes are, what they do, and how they work. Because it's all connected, everything's connected. You can always go back and make adjustments, and it'll follow through all the way. I am a sleepy boy. Just so you know. For some reason doing this relaxes me so much that I just get sleepy. Not useful, really. Right, as a quick test, we're gonna what's Neld? Blend. There we go. As a quick test, I'm gonna whack the face on top. Just see what we're working with. Subtract. Winky fish. Okay, there's my dude. Now what we've learned is the parallax isn't very deep, so let's quickly go and adjust that. It's a 5. That's more like it. Okay, now we're getting some better height information. Okay, and then what we want to do with the shapes, because they're kind of, most of them are carved, but then have like a middle bit protruding. So if you look at these ones, these birds over here, see, like, they were basically carving 3D shapes into the wall. They were the first normal map creators. It's amazing. So we're going for that kind of carved in a recess kind of look. So the way we do that is we would get our warped shape, we'd go for a non-uniform blur in grayscale, of course, because we're working with height information, and then that would be set to max quality because we are ballers, it's what we do, and then put that there. And oh, it's set to subtract, so that'll be inverted because I'm a wizard, Harry. Alright, let's fix that. We want it to be subtracted, but we want it to go the other way. So what we're going to do, we're going to use that mask instead, and we're going to set this to add. Obviously that's going to pop out, but we want to just lower that down. Actually, max lighting maybe. Wait, that won't work. Why would I think that would work? Okay, what we need to do is we're going to subtract this from here. And in the next one we're going to, that's right, the next one we're going to add that in. So let's just adjust that with the level so that we can change how high it is. Oh, the hiccups. Not good. So we don't want it protruding out past the wall. So the lightest points on the wall are here. So let's try and aim for something darker, which we have done. You can see it's inside. So that's cool. And then obviously we'll add grittiness and dirt and such to it. But for now, that's okay. So if we stick with that kind of workflow, in fact, let's go add this stuff on top now, just so that we've got an idea of what's going on with it. Although, no, actually, we won't do that. We'll do that to the end of everything because it'll need to be the same scale. Because at the moment, obviously, this is way too big. Now, what we can do. Let me see. Will this work? Sorry, I'm talking a bunch of stuff. I've not done anything yet. I've got a process in my head. Give me a sec. Tile sampler. Good old friend tile sampler. We want this set to just one strip. Actually, we can probably do 2. Actually, 2. Yeah, let's try and do this, but without the characters, something like that. So if we go for 2 strips, and the way we can do that is we can get roughly the width that we want. So let's say we want the width to be 2 of these, which would be 8 by 8 instead of 16 by 16. Okay, and then we can set those to be patterns, and then we can mask out so it's just the 2 end ones, which is really useful. In fact, I will do that now. Wait, pattern size, pattern. So we're going to have 2 of these, aren't we? One with the masked versions and one with the beveled versions. I think it's probably going to be the best way to do this. So if I get my settings right, then duplicate it, we should be good. Then one will plug into here and one will plug into here, and they'd be in the right kind of thing. My brain knows what I mean. You'll figure it out one day. Okay, so plug that in there. Hey, we got shapes. What kind of shapes you like? We got them all. Okay, it's got a gradient tool. We'll grab a gradient. We will take the gradient, plug it in, and we're going to give this a fancy two-sided situation. So I'm going to set both of these to just white on the sides. Just the whitest white there is. And then I'm going to, right next to them, set that to black. So that way we've got just two strips of white, two strips of titanium white, and then that can go into our mask, which is the third one up. Okay, cool. And now if we go in here and we go down to our mask map multiplier, or mask map threshold, dumph, there we go, two strips, piece a piece. So that should be good enough for now, I think. Now we can add the strips and stuff later on, but if we just focus on getting the shapes in for now. So like I said, we're going to use the same shape and then we're going to gradually replace them as we go along. So if I'm happy with this, I'll do the same for the mask as I said before. So let's just blend this together first. Let's see how this goes. Actually, yeah, I'll do the mask one now, just so I can see. And to be fair, any changes that I make, I can expose and then apply it to both of them like I did last time, and then I can just change them both at the same time. So it's not that difficult really, we should be fine. So here's the mask one going in there. Now if we plug this little bad boy into this, and this little bad boy into this, look at that. What do you bloody well think happened there? Yeah, so we're getting the result we want. It's obviously it's a bit extreme right now. It's quite poppy and whatnot, but this is just placeholder stuff right now. So I'm quite happy with how it's going. Let's crack on. So yeah, at this point it subtracts that, so that gets fully stamped out. We could change how much of an effect that has, but it's not a good idea. We just want it to have the holes cut. We could change opacity on this, but again, not a good idea. We want to change the levels of it. It feels very round at the moment. We'll fix that in a bit with some, what's it called? Edge slope blurs and all that good stuff. Just move this over here. Move that over here. Okay, we're cooking. We're starting to get somewhere. So we'll keep adjusting the stone and stuff as we go along. In fact, I'm going to adjust some of it now. So we've got the base stone here. This is where the faces and the hieroglyphs get added. And then afterwards we're going to have the finer detail and stuff. So I'm going to add some finer detail now, but you normally start with bigger shapes and work up, which I did do. I've started with bigger shapes. I'm not overly happy with them, but I think that's going to be fixed by the smaller shapes, and if it's not, I'll go back and tweak it. But yeah, I'm hoping that'll be the case. Just change this sort a little bit. Okay, that's looking a little bit better actually. Maybe change the levels on that as well. That's a bit better, isn't it? A bit more subtle. Lovely bit of subtlety. Alright, so now we're going to go and add in some fractal sun base like we did yesterday. Get a bit of that gritty goodness going on. Oops, not fractal sun. I like fractal sun base. Fractal sun base lets you just play with it, like all the settings, so you can make it whatever you want it to be within a certain limitation, obviously. But it's better than like just using fractal sun 4, for example. You're just stuck with that one setting then. Whereas with this, you can create that and others. Oh, okay. I feel like this is one of those streams where I should have got a sneak to start with. Perk me up a little bit because I'm flagging today. Okay, so here's this, and then we're going to put this on top, and then we'll make adjustments afterwards. Let's just for now put it in. Set it to multiply or overlay or screen maybe. I like playing about with my settings sometimes just to see how much variation I'm feeling like that day. Okay, so we're getting this kind of this grittiness going on there. I quite like that, but we don't want it so uniform, so I'm going to add some variety to that as well. But it's heading in the right direction. That's what matters. Just reduce the roughness on that so it's not so protrudent. And if protrudent isn't a word, it really should be, but I think it is. I've got to assume it's a word, right? Something that protrudes. It is protrudent. I don't know. I'm not one for words sometimes. I used to be. Used to be quite the fan of the fancy word. My eyes also aren't very helpful tonight. To be fair, I've been staring at some things all day. A wordsmith, yeah, I used to be quite the wordsmith. I was a big fan of QI and Stephen Fry, so you know. You don't remember that. I was never a wordsmith to people, I just like to think that way. An introverted wordsmith. Right, slope. We're going to use a slope below grayscale, and we're going to be chipping away at this guy. The purling noise is normally a good one to use for this. Plug it in. And like we did last time, set it to minimum, give it max samples, reduce the intensity. Add a smart inner monologue. Exactly. My inner monologue used to have two phases. It would either be smart or it would be my one of my relatives who's got a voice that goes right through you. Only it was either or. There was never, you know, a bit of both. Okay, this is still feeling too protrudent. So let's adjust this with a curve instead of the levels, because I feel like it's going to give us a better look at the profile and give us a better chance of sorting that out. So reduce the white on that, make it flatter, but then round off the top a bit. And we want it to be softer, but further in. My mic's saying it's been unplugged, but it hasn't, so I'm going to carry on. Yeah, I think something like that looks alright. Let's maybe raise it a bit, because it is a bit low now. Okay, and then we are still going to give it a little bit of lift in the middle, but just not as much as it had, because it had way too much. Can I give this... I'm going to give this arms. Give it a little bit of a curve. That looks okay, I think. Right, okay, and then we're going to do that and then make this a little bit more extreme so you can actually see it from a distance. That's probably too extreme. But you know what, we'll stick with it for now because we can always come back and chip it down a bit. Not chip it down, you know, knock it down a bit. Right, hour and a half left, folks. 1.5 of your earthly hours left, and we've got one shape done. But that's okay. We're getting the framework in place, because then once we've got the framework in place, we can then apply that to the other shapes. Now this is warped already, but we want to warp it a bit more because it's not really showing up much. Okay, that's a bit better. It looks a bit like a pumpkin face now. And yeah, that looks okay. Can we give this a little bit of a bevel? Ooh, that'd be cheeky, but I think we can do it. Just a smidge of a bevel. Let's see how this goes. Okay. Out of curiosity, how far can we push this? Oh, well, that's driving that, isn't it? Of course. Right. Okay, put that there. I was like, why is the mask still holding everything? It's because I was moving both. You see, at a certain point it's meant to stop working, you see. So, see if we can put smoothing on, knock this down a little bit. I just want to see what kind of effect this has on the shape, you see. I want to kind of soften the edges a bit. It's not having the desired effect, so that's okay. But that looks alright. It looks a bit better now. It's not quite so specifically stamped in. It's got a little bit of an edge to it. That's cool. That's what we want. Okay. It looks like little pumpkin faces, all of it. Alright, so let's move on anyway. We've got one shape. Right, hour and a half left. So we want to be starting to texture stuff at the kind of hour mark, because that way we've got time to actually do something with it. But to be fair, it's fairly straightforward texture. It shouldn't take long. So let's focus on getting some shapes done. So we've got the like the recipe in place for the shapes. Let's move this over here because this is going to be the last bit that you touch when it comes to height information. So we've got shape 1 with its patterns, and this is the stone, and this is where everything blends together. There's going to be a lot of these. So let's move on to the next shape, shall we? So I'm going to grab everything that's here. Actually, I don't need to duplicate these because we're going to use them for everything. Cool, I remember now. Okay, so in that case, grab these, duplicate. Just so we've got a starting point. They're not going to be the same shape, so they don't need the same starting point from there. But what's the next shape? So I reckon something straightforward and quick. These zigzags. Let's go zigzag. Let's see. Best way of doing zigzag. Okay. Shape. There's a shock. We could try the wave form. This is how I did it the other day, I think. I got waves. So we control how many are there. This is not the waves I was using the other day. What was I using the other day? Okay. Anywho, waveform. Yeah, so it's its own thing. Okay, I got real confused for a second there. Right, so we don't need this to be crazy complex. So we can just make adjustments to it like this. Oh, it's got pattern choices. Nice. Never noticed that before. So we can probably use something like this, and then we can add like a blur, or a histogram scan, sharpen it all up, and then have like jagged teeth from it. That should work anyway, in theory. No noise, it's all quite uniform. Okay, so blur. This is a fun little technique doing this. So you're already getting like a bit of a pointier shape. And then histogram scan. Oh, you have hiccups. Just so you know. And then we can go and adjust this so that it's more blurry, less blurry, whatnot. So obviously we want it sharper than that, but we're getting to that. That's cool, isn't it? I quite like that. Right. And to be fair, we have other options as well. We don't just need to do this, but this is just a fun way of doing it. Actually, we could be just way overthinking this. No, let's stick with what we're doing. Let's stick with it. Transform. What was I about to do? I had something in mind then. we're going to invert that. And then we can use that. Actually. No, I'm deleting that. Something, I don't like something about it. What was I going to do? There was something else I was going to try. Shape. Okay, let's get ourselves, oh, polygon, that was it. Let's get ourselves a polygon. Make it a triangle. That's 3 side shapes. And we're going to position that so that we can repeat it. But not that way. Okay, now if we get that, we should be able to do transform. There you go. And it only tiles horizontally, so we can do that a bunch of times. And the problem is, it's not very specific. That's okay. We can use mirror grayscale now. Mirror that in the Y. Offset it down. And we want to transform. Actually, yeah, we don't even need to mirror it, it's just lazy. We want to transform this, rotate it, blend these two together, and then we're going to offset it a little bit. There could have been so many easier ways of doing this, but at the moment this is what works in my head, so that's what I'm going with. Sometimes you just got to do that. There we go. See, we've got the almost exactly the shape that we want now, which is much better. So, we're going to go to blend. Right, so we need to mask that. So actually we're going to invert what we've got. Is that not on the bottom? That's not. Okay, let's move this to the actual bottom. Now this, we're going to blend this with just a black square. It's a weird way of working, I realise this. I should have done this better before, but this is what is happening, so that's what's happening. So what I'm trying to do is basically fill out, make sure it's all the right colour, so that when they get blended together they work properly. Actually, do I want to do that? Oh, you know what? My mind's having a moment again. It's okay, we're fine. We've almost got this. So I want to move this upwards. Gonna move this upwards as well. Well, now what we're trying to do with this. Okay. I want to go to transform. I want it to tile, but only in V. I'm going to shrink it down. Set this to add. And move it. Oh, you know, that wasn't a bad guess for the size. That was not a bad guess at all. Let's just scale this up a little bit. And there we go. So now we've got that shape that we wanted. We can invert it. That can be the shape for the edge, for the, you know, the trimming bit. Alright, so let's sort this out again. Wait, why are there two of them here? Okay, Right, so we've got the shape. Now we want to give it the warp. I'm going to click the right thing one day. Give it a warp there. It's too strong for this, so let's knock it down. Just a bit of warp. Give it a cheeky little bit of bevel. What I'm going to do actually, back here, I'm going to transform this until it's a not tile. And I'm going to shrink it in a little bit. Just so it's got edges. Oh, actually I want to do that before it's been inverted and stuff. Here. Okay, stone tile. Then we've got the edges going on, haven't we? Gosh dang it. Alright, it's fine. We'll stick with what we've got. Okay, so this can be pattern 2. So we want to do this whole blurry magoop for this second part of it. So we connect that from the warp to here. Obviously it's too strong for this shape, so let's knock it in a bit. That's a bit strong for this shape as well. Okay, so now this should be able to be pattern 2. Let's delete all these. Move this up here. Oh my god, click the right thing please, mouse. Right, there we go. Just do a little bit of housekeeping whilst we're here, 'cause it's always good to keep it tidy, isn't it? Keep it neat and tidy, that's what Mother used to say. There you go. There you go there, there you go there, and there you go there. Okay, now we're going to set this to 2 patterns instead of 1, so that we can start to see some sort of extra business going on. 1 and 1 for you too. And I'm going to plug these guys in. Where are we? Here. Okay. Hopefully they go in the same slots for both. They should do, because I know it says random, but it generates random in the same way as each other as far as I know. Okay, it's not bad. Not bad. We're getting there. We can probably at the transform, scale these in. I did this before, didn't I? But I forgot I could change the background colour. But I don't need to. There you go. See, simple brain fart. Just didn't need to do what I was worried about before. And now that works perfectly. Awesome. I like it when things go okay-ish. Oh, right. Thank you. Looking good. Right, so that's number 2 done. Let's get a third one in. I am so tempted to run downstairs and grab a quick sneak. It would only take a minute. I'm very tempted, but let's just carry on for now. See how we get on. I like it when a plan comes together. I do like it when a plan comes together. Okay, let's go for 3 dots. We could go for three wolves and moon, but let's go for 3 dots instead. It's more Egyptian themed. Not dots. What are they called? Rectangles. Rectangles, Christopher. We'll get sneak and pause your timer. I can't pause the timer, but I'm back in a sec, folks. I'm gonna go get a sneak. Made it. I am back. Oh, like you picture when Peter falls over if he ropes up the stairs like he ran. Yeah. That's the good stuff right there. I feel like it needs mixing a bit more. Okay, let's get going. Placebo effect or not, it makes me feel better. Now, let's get a shape going. Have I unmuted my mic? Yes, I have. Good. Let's see it. We're going for three wolf and moon. Let's get this in there. So we're going to get a rectangle, which for those of you who don't know is just a square squished in. Who wouldn't know what a rectangle is? Can you imagine? Okay, so shape. Can we be crafty with this? No, let's be really weird with this. Let's go to tile generator. Just set it to 3 and 1. Why am I doing this? I don't need to do that. We haven't got time for faffing, have we? I want a transform node. I want a blend node. I'll plug this into there and plug that into there. And now I can resize it. I know that'll give us 3 technically if I scale that up a bit. But I don't really want to do it that way because I want to control each one individually. So instead we're going to have 3 manually placed ones, and then we can adjust them each as well. Because we want imperfection. Imperfection is beautiful in art. There's a what is an art? I think it's a Japanese art form called wabi-sabi, which is the beauty of imperfections, I think. And it's like things that have broken or gone wrong and still look beautiful. There's another one as well, I forget the name of it, but they get like cracked pottery and they use gold to fill the cracks and make it into something even more beautiful because it's broken. It's a great idea. No idea how it works, but it's a good idea. Oh, I did it wrong. Okay, add. Move you. Yeah. And then rinse, repeat, boyos and girlos and theos and thimos. Whatever else you're supposed to say these days. Right, move this one over now. There we go, we've got 3 shapes. They're not perfect, but we can make this shorter. I said shorter, Chris, come on. Get your brain on. There we go. Bit shorter. And then if we wanted to, we could make minor adjustments to each one of these. We're not going to right now because there's going to be adjustments made by the warp shapes and things, but we have the option now, which is good. So again, same process as before. We're going to grab our warp, just to give it a bit of a warpy poo. There we go. That looks alright. See, it's already been changed by the warp. That's the point of it. And then from our warp, we have ourselves these. Let's duplicate them, use them again. Makes sense. Work smart, not hard. Right, this transform. What was I doing with the transform? Actually, I don't need the transform there. So, got the bevel going on. Got the non-uniform blur with the curve and the... Okay, yeah, looking good. So we can do the same thing again now. So, set this to 3. Look at this, we're cooking on gas now, folks. Set it to 3. Set this to 3. So my computer is not cooking on gas, it is slow. Sure you got slow. What if I could do a parody of low, but it's about my computer and it's slow. Instead of like apple bottom jeans talking about having like low RAM capabilities or something. There's something in there. There's something in there. I'll figure it out one day. I still need to record the last parody. Right, okay, so we've got 3 shapes in now. Do you like? HD Sunshine. Go. Man, I miss Adam and Joe Go Tokyo. If you never saw it, it was a great show. It was stupid, but it was great at the same time. You know, you get that lovely combo of just nonsense, but it's good nonsense, you know what I mean? For example, like bad nonsense is like Keith Lemon, that kind of stuff. To me, Somebody likes it, that's fine. I don't. But good nonsense is like just sheer goofooey. I think I want to move these in a bit, but I'm not sure if I do. No, I'm going to leave them where they are for now. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, okay? Alright, so we've got some shapes in. Let's get some more in, and then we'll start organising stuff around it, because we've got an hour 9 left. So we want to start texturing at the hour mark if we can, but for now, let's just carry on. Let's just carry on. I'm already feeling okay about the results we've got so far, considering what we're doing. We're not doing anything fancy. As I say, every stream, we're not doing anything particularly fancy. We're just having a bit of fun, having a giggle. We're having laughing, chat. Yes, we are. Right, let's go for this one because we can actually reuse what we just did and then add like this golf club to it. So that's kind of handy. So since we are reusing part of this, I'm going to duplicate it and then add to it, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. So some of the work done for us already. Again, smart, not hard. It's not a bad word like I used to think it was. It's just called optimization. Alright, so we're going to get this and then we're going to transform this. Boom, 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 boom. I like this song. Okay, put that bottom left. That seems about right. Maybe shrink it down a bit. Okay, and then we're gonna add these golf clubby looking parts to it. So I'm gonna make one of them, and then do what we did there. So we're gonna duplicate it. So golf clubby bits, ahoy! Okay, nice quick way of doing this. You're watching. Here's a magic trick for you. We're gonna get this. We're gonna get it roughly there. We're gonna duplicate that a little bit, and we're gonna go blend. Put you there, set you to subtract. Oh no, everything disappeared. But that's okay because we're going to set you to transform. And we're going to move you down a bit. And that's going to leave what we want behind. Except it's not, is it? Yeah, it's got it the wrong way around. Magic trick. Oh wait, I'm an idiot. It's set the tile. I knew I wasn't crazy. There we go. Okay, magic trick. Magic trick. Did you like it? And then now I'm gonna put a little trapezoid transform on this. Actually, I need to turn it on its side to do that, don't I? I can't just rotate this. Why can't I rotate this? That's weird. Yeah, 'cause basically I want to adjust it so it's a little bit tapered. So to do that, I'm going to transform it again. Actually, I'll do it here. Transform it onto its side. Make it slightly tapered by using the trapezoid transform grayscale. So we're gonna stretch out the bottom of this basically. Wait, I'm on the wrong shape. Genius. It's this shape. Okay, so on its side, trapezoid, bottom stretch. No tiling. Alright, so we want this to go the other way. So we're going to change how it is. And then transform that again to go around the other way. Now we plug that in, it should... Wait, I did that wrong. Okay. I've messed up. I was right in the first place, gosh dang it. My head's all over the shop today. Might try that one again. There we go. And then just stretch that down a bit so it's working. There we go. Okay. That little magic trick that I said, see, look how quick this will be. It took longer than I expected, but that's okay. That happens sometimes. Right, here we go. So now we've got this. We can do the same thing we did before, where we get a transform, blend them together, and then, you know, work it that way. So I'm actually going to put them in one by one into here because it makes sense. Does it? No. No, it doesn't. Okay. Transform. Put you there. Put you there. Set you both to add. And then we can reposition these guys as we wish. Set them to don't tile, otherwise you're going to get tiling, and we don't want tiling right now. Scale you down as well. As usual, it's just a lot of rinse repeat. Now these aren't going to be particularly right straight away, we're going to have to make some adjustments, but let's just get them in for now. Yeah, I feel like they're going to need to be spaced out and stuff, but that's why we're doing it this way, so we can adjust it. Get blend, get another one of these. I'm going to duplicate this one and just move it over. Makes it easy, you see, and because it's from the same source, it won't be affected by what's already there. Just add. Okay, so now I can move these over. Move this over. And just keep tweaking like that. And now as we've got something in place here, we can then blend these two together and position them as we want them to be. Ooh, isn't that fancy? Yes, it is. Thank you. I agree. It's extremely fancy. Just so fancy, you can't even handle the level of fancy that's going on right now. So we need to shimmy these upwards a bit to get the bums out of the way. There's that one. I like doing it one by one for this kind of thing because it adds imperfections. Excuse me, it adds imperfections, and imperfections are great for this. So we're going to move Mr. Middleman. Actually, we're going to move these over a smidge, and then we're going to move Mr. Middleman to the left. There you go. Perfect imperfections. And now we have, just like that, pattern number 4. Just like that. Pattern number 4. How quick was that? It was an hour apparently, so not that quick. But still, it takes, like, if you want to get a really nice material on this, it can take 2 days. To get like chef's kiss nice. 2 days. Okay, I'm going to add the masky bit up there. I'm going to add my non-masky bit down there, and then we have lift off, folks. Now there's a lot of repetition going on. We don't want that much repetition, but we'll fix that in a minute because that's just controlled by the sliders. Okay, so we've got time for one more of these, I think, and then we're going to start looking at the sliders and things, and then trying to sort the colours out. So let's just do a quick bit of housekeeping whilst we've got a second. Not feeling too pressured right now. I'm going to have a sip of juice actually. Let's have a relax, have a nice drink, eh? How's that sound? So we're doing okay so far. We've got some of the hieroglyphs ready. We've got a really rough base rock ready. Nothing super fancy. Just enough to keep us going. So let's get a third shape in once we've neatened this up a little bit. And then we'll be ready to rock and or roll, I think. Preferably both. It's kind of boring if you just rock or you just roll. I don't even know how you just roll. Just physically roll over. It doesn't make sense. Anywho. I wish that I was in Tokyo right now because I love it there. It's a great place. I miss it. Granted, apparently they're expecting the third wave like this week or something because things are going a bit south with the numbers. Or north, I guess that's a problem. But to be fair, their bad days are like one of our best days of the year, so I'd rather have one of their bad days. Alright, so which one are we going for next? Let me see. We've got we've done winky face emoji, we've done 3 boxes, we've done golf clubs, we've done wave. Shall we go for dragonfly or eye? We need an eye in there, don't we? And that should be a pretty quick one to do. Shape. Let's see, what's the best way of doing this? I think the best way for this would be to get a bell shape. I know it sounds weird at first. Ah, it's harder to get a test. Ah, fair enough. But still, it's probably still better than, you know, a lot of places. Let's go with a coon. I'm experimenting here, folks. This is going to look a bit weird for a sec, but we got this. Okay, cone, no tiling. Shrink it down. Shrink it down. And then histogram scan this bad boy. And the reason I chose a cone is because it's got quite sharp values in it, so hopefully it'll give me a little bit more to work with. Not really. I could have used the disc and got the same result there. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to use a disc. Okay, and what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to get a disc and then I'm going to use a warp tool, I think. Am I using warp? Let's give it a go. I'm going to go for warp. I'm going to go for a gradient. Choose gradient linear 3. Set this to like 50. Wait, no, I want directional warp. What am I doing? Directional warp. Put you in there, put you in there. Set you to like 200. Something crazy. They don't test you if you have a cough, fever, high temperature and loss of taste because you're not allowed to isolate at home, so the government has to pay for people to either be in hospital or designated hospitals or hotels. Ah, fair enough. That's a weird situation, isn't it? Okay. Right, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a polygon. I'm going to make it a triangle again. I'm going to get the sides so it's like that. I'm going to blend it onto this as a subtract. And this time I'm only going to stop it tiling on H, so I just want it to be vertical tiling. And I'm going to transform it so I can shrink it down. And now if I move this up, I should start to get the kind of shape that I want. I could have just done this the other way around, couldn't I? So if you know, though, if you're a known contact of someone who's tested positive, you can get a test. Ah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, it's a strange little system they've got going on there. It's not the most efficient, I guess. Maybe they've opened up testing a bit more recently, that's why numbers are going up. I don't know. Right, I want that. I want it to go down here. Okay, that's what we want. And then we're going to use a mirror to mirror that. And there's a shape that we're after, something more along those lines. Then we can use a blur. This is such a weird way of doing this, folks. Oh, I don't recommend doing it this way normally, but this is how I'm doing it, so that's how it is tonight, I'm afraid. Because it needs to get done. You do it the way you know how, quickly, rather than spending ages trying to figure it out. I mean, you should figure stuff out if you don't know how to do something, but if you're on a time limit like I am at the moment, just do it the way you know it. So that's now softened off our edges, and then I can use a blend, put that there, transform that. Batch almost dead. Okie dokie. Well, you have fun, and I will see you when you're finished. I'll be right here. Thank you for watching though, I appreciate you. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to scale that in, and there we go. We've already got ourselves a cheeky little eye. So now, same as before, we're going to grab the these. Actually, I'm going to pull this out a bit. There we go. Going to grab this section here, duplicate it. Oh, got the hiccups. I'll put that there. Okay, this looks okay. This looks okay. So we've got our bevel for our masky bits. Oh wait, we've got to change it first. So now we're going all the way, folks. We're going all the way to 5 pattern inputs. So we've got our mask. There we go. You go there. You go there. And then we all go home. Yay, home time. There we go. We've got a little cheeky eye going on. I see the eye. That's more like that because it's just sort of cut out. It's not really rounded much, you know. Let me just set this bevel to be outside. Okay, right, got a result of that. So let's now try and, like, I'm happy with the variance of that. Let's try and fix the how unrandom the randomness is. So we can, it's currently set by just random. We can set it by pattern number, which will put them in order, which isn't, I mean, it works for them being quite random in the sense of they're not, you know, clumped up together, but it is make them sequential. We don't really want that, but we can do that, I guess. Or we can use a distribution map, which there isn't one set, so it's all one at the moment. But we could set it to be, if we got like a cells, for example. If you use this and you set that as the pattern distribution map, which is there, then what you could do, if it's set to distribution map like it is, see, this is based on the colours that are here. And when it notices a change, it changes the pattern that you're using, which is pretty cool. So if I go in here now, I can start adjusting this until we get something that we like. I just don't want two of the same by each other. It's quite hard to avoid, really. Come on, so close. Just get rid of one of the waves. Oh, don't add a smiley. No. Let's make it really big scale. Okay, and then change this. Oh, I think we had it for a second, then that's switched past it. Oh, could that be it? Am I seeing? Oh, there's the eyes. God damn it, Bobby. It was so close, folks. I could almost taste the sweet flavors of success, which taste a bit like oregano and garlic, just so you know. Because what's more successful than a lasagna? I love lasagna. Oh, if we adjust the scale a bit. We want to get the scale so it's roughly the same as the icons, I think. That'll help. So close. Right, we're getting there. We're getting there. Just a couple more. And no. Okay, we're going to use pattern number, folks. That's it. It's fine. For what we're doing, it's fine. I would rather that not be the case, but that's how it is, I'm afraid. But the good news is that'll keep consistency between the two of them. So it goes pattern number on this. And then it should all line up nice, which it does. So yay. Okay, now we're going to go and add some strips in because we like those strips. I wonder, I'd like to make a slight adjustment to this, but I don't know if I can or not. Scale, position. Kind of want to offset it a bit, but not all of it. Just like, I want to offset it towards the middle. I don't think I can do that really. I can, but I'm not. It's faff. Don't worry about it. We're fine. Let's move on. So let's add these strips. So we're just gonna get a shape. Gonna get a blend. I'm gonna blend this. Let's see. We want to have the same effect that these have. So we're gonna grab. Gonna grab these. Duplicate it over here. And we're going to plug in our shape here. So it's a really thin shape, but when we're ready for the bit later on, we can come in here and we can add the stuff we need to it. I'm going to change this first because obviously it's super wrong. Such a small thin shape wouldn't be so overly sorted. There we go. Okay, so now we can go in and we can adjust this. And then if we get our blend, see the way we've got two blends here, if we just add this, add the result of this to this. I'm gonna transform this actually so we can move it to the right place. My computer's going so slow right now, dude. Okay. Yeah, see, I want something there ideally, and then move them along, but it's a right hassle. See if we've got time to do that at the end. But for now, I'm just going to move this, scale it up a bit. We can make it thinner actually, it doesn't need to be that thick. There we go. Actually, yeah, I can put it to the left and it'll make it a tile. Okay, that'll be okay. So is this? I've thinned this out now, so I've got to go check these because it's probably going to mess it up a bit. So the bevel's going to be too extreme now, but we'll leave that for now. It should be okay. Alright, so as a test, let's plug this in. It's looking okay. It's a bit extreme, but we can fix that. Okay, and now... Oh, wait. Wait, which one are we on here? Oh, yeah, so the mask comes in the bevel. Yeah, so the bevel's too strong on that, like we thought it would be. reduce that a bit. And then we're going to use the curve for the next part, but we're not at the next part yet, so let's do that now. So this next part goes here. Let's duplicate this, plug this into there, plug this into there, and we should be good to go. So there's the mask element of it, there's the non-mask element of it, and then we can just plug this in here. We're getting there, slowly but surely. Right, so we want this to be a bit flatter. Because this one is a bit flatter than the other one. That looks okay, and then we're going to reduce the amount of slope blur, and we're going to change the scale of this as well, because it's way too, it's currently way too damaging. 0.01, we're going real small because it's so thin. See, you're still getting damage at that small scale, so that's fine. I like that, that's looking okay. We're getting there, folks. We are getting there. Let's have a sip of juice. Right, 44 minutes, we've got this. 44 minutes and I'm off to play Yakuza. It's a great game. I'm really enjoying it so far. I've only just started it, and the cutscenes, there's so many cutscenes, but it's one of my favourite things because it's just such a goofy game. Like, it doesn't take itself seriously whatsoever, which is funny because it's a game about the Yakuza, so it should be like a serious, gritty, gangstery, which it is at times, but then it's also got just silly nonsense in there, and the balance is perfect. Alright, so now we've got one of these shapes, let's get another one. We can be lazy and just mirror this, I think, at the moment, but actually no, we're going to transform it. Let's transform it and blend them together, because we want to position these manually as well. So add that, move this over, and add that as a whole. Okay, yeah, so see if we move this new one over to the middle, it's set to tile still, so it comes across that side, which is what we want. So if I was to tile this shape, it will repeat, which is good. So we'll keep that, and then we're going to have it going along as well towards the right. So let's move this over there, move that over there. It's a funky tune, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to connect this first so that I can see what it's actually doing, and then we're going to move the stuff. Okay, so I want this to be the same kind of place but on the opposite side. So there we go, something along those lines. Now I know it looks too strong, but it's because it's not filled yet. That's just a flat part behind it. So then we're going to give that same... Actually, we should have done this before this point because this is where it's all shared, so we'll do that now. Let me just quickly fix this, plug that bevel into there. Because this will save us doing loads of different extra connections. If I instead connect this to here, and then this to here. Yeah, and then plug this into the warp. Okay, that should be sorted now. We should have the same effect, but then everything's getting affected as it should be. Yeah, so now we can just simply plug that into there, which it already is. Awesome. That just saved us a lot of work, which is good because we only have 40 minutes. Right, progress is being made. That's always a good sign, isn't it? And remember, if we wanted to just add more lines to this, we can just come in here to the gradient and adjust it. So for example, let's quickly add some in the middle. I want like a middle lane. So we're going to do the same thing, make a little channel in here. Set that to white. Set that to white. There you go. Just like that, you've got some more. So we can do that if we want to. I actually might do that. Looks pretty cool. Oh yeah, alternating. That'd be, yeah, because we haven't got time to do little frames and stuff like I wanted to. So this could be a good way of doing it. Little alternating frames. He's got me thinking now. I could do what I've got at the moment and then add a little bit in the middle that blocks out that gradient so that we can have frame sections still. I'll just grab all of these, move them as one. It's pretty cool doing this because watch, you just see them pop up like hello, hello, like that. It's pretty funky. It's just a shame I set it to the numbers it's set to because it hasn't got a middle. This would be a lot of work if I change that now. Just give me a sec. Let me just see if this works. If I set it to 9 and 9, it'll give us a central column. That actually works a bit better because now we can move those lines across. I want to increase the scale of them though because I don't like the scale of it now. It's too small. So set the scale to 1. Now it looks like a winky face with pupils. I set the scale to 1. Okay, yeah, happy with that. And then what we can do here, if I go to this gradient, I can actually use a blend. I can grab a shape. I can set this blend to subtract. Set it to not tile. Wait, don't do that. Set the transform here to no tile. Ow, my knee. And now if I change this, I can just cut out the middle. Set that there. Boom, no middle section. And then it's just simply a case of adjusting this mask to control how many of those bits I want to show up. That's pretty funky, isn't it? So let's do that. Let's keep it like that, and then we can add some more bars and then give it the same treatment. Yeah, I like that. Okay, look at the mess we've made. It's great. I love a proper messy node. I mean, it's neat, but it just looks messy. If you don't know what you're looking at, this will look chaotic. We definitely have to start texturing soon. Sorting colours out soon. We've not even touched roughness or anything. So yeah, actually, I'm just going to put these 2 lines in, and then we're going to stop with the height information. Otherwise, it's going to get just too much. So I want to move these over so I've got some space to work. Such a funky jam. Okay, so we've got our lines here, so let's just add some more. We can just do exactly the same process we did here, just to add some more in, but then we're going to subtract from it, so it's that simple. Going to go to blend, going to go here, going to go to add. We're going to get a transform node from our original buddy here. Going to move it over. I might actually add it now just so I can see what I'm doing. Yeah, okay, there we go. If I double click on this, I can see what I'm doing better. Actually, this will save me cutting out the shape if I do this. Oh wait, no. Why would it do? Why would it? That was stupid of me. Okay, yeah, anyway. Move this where we want it to be. Give it some height. Okay, and then we can use we should do the same thing again. Actually, I might be lazy, use a mirror node. Because it's just a line, and also this will still be affected by the warps and stuff afterwards, so they're not actually identical. So that's cool. And then what we can do here, before it goes into this, is we blend it into here, get our shape like we did before. In fact, we can be super lazy and use exactly the same shape so that it lines up. Not that that really matters for this, but still. Subtract. There we go, plug that in there. And boom. That looks alright, doesn't it? So yeah, I actually want those lines a bit longer, so I'm not going to use the same shape. I'm going to duplicate this and have our own shape, just to be fancy. Because we can, okay? We don't need reasons to be fancy in this house, we just be fancy. So shrink that down. That's interesting. I hate when that happens. It's a weird little glitch in Designer. It's just, I don't know what causes it, but it just happens from time to time. Okay, fixed. Super annoying though. It's very rare that it happens, and I can't seem to recreate it when it does happen. But yeah, if anybody knows what that is, let me know please. It fascinates me. Okay, so I think I'm pretty happy with that for height information. I don't like how neat it is. I'd want to go and continue to warp this a bit more. I may actually do a quick test on this to see if I can do. But the bevel on this is still a bit too strong. Minus 0.01. Okay, and then maybe the shape slope, the slope blur grayscale might also be a bit too much for that, but that's okay. Right, folks, we are making progress. We've got half an hour left. Half an hour is not long at all. I'm going to very quickly go in here, get my mask bit. I'm going to use a warp node. Actually, I'm going to use the same warp node as over here. I know it's already been warped. I'm going to warp it again. Oh wait, where's the Perlin noise? That's why. It's currently being warped by itself. I thought it looked a bit too straight. I don't want it to be warped by itself. I want it to be warped by Perlin noise. Whoa, that's extreme, isn't it? Oh, it's a bit strong. That's funky though, isn't it? But yeah, that's the kind of thing we want, but not so extreme. So we can go in here, adjust the warp strength. So it's completely off. 0.05. Way too strong. 0.005. Now we're talking. It's a little bit nicer. And believe it or not, that little number does make a difference. See? The kinks and then the no kinks. It's a very minuscule difference, but it's there. Minuscule? Minuscule? Minuscule. I feel like minuscule would be the English way of saying that. Okay, so we could leave that at that and then do the colours, because like I said, we've only got half an hour left. So time, she is against us. Let's save. I want to do so much more to this, but we don't have time, so we're moving on. I'm going to move all my height stuff down so I can see what I'm doing. This is the gritty dirt on top, isn't it? So keep that there. Keep your gritty dirt to yourself. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so let's add some color information. So we're going to go really quick with this. Uniform color. We're going to do what we normally do. Get 2 of these. Going to eyedrop from the reference image just really quickly. Normally you want to be more specific than this and do some tweaks to the image before you just eyedrop from it. But we don't really have time for that, so because you've got to take into account things like the sunlight, the type of like lens used, any filters that might be on it, any tweaks that might be made in post. You know, it's not accurate, so you got to try and make adjustments sometimes. But for this, it's fine. We're just being quick with it. Put that in there, put that in there. Alright, so we want like a patchy overall colour change, but we also want some specific colour changes. So let's go for, you know, I say it all the time, clouds. It almost feels like cheating to use clouds, but it's such a versatile node. It would be daft to not use it. Plug that in. No, we want to desaturate that a little bit. It's a bit saturated. Okay, and then we can add like a grittier, finer thing on top of it, which is going to be a bit darker. So just being really quick with this, nothing neat, nothing fancy, just being quick and dirty. Can duplicate this one because it's the right kind of colours that we're after. Just make it a little bit darker, just a little bit, and then we're going to get the fractal sun base from earlier. We're going to make some adjustments to it to make it a bit more sharper. Okay, and then we're going to adjust the roughness on this so that it gets a bit more extreme. See, we've got that stuff going on now. A bit more contrasted, that's the word. So we've got before and after. I feel it might be a little too extreme, so let's just see if we can adjust the levels on this a bit to alleviate some of that. If we set it to auto levels, see it gets really contrasted. Which looks cool, but then we want to reduce the amount of white in it, so just to lighten everything over a little bit. So we've still got the graininess, but now it's not so dark. See, it's still dark, but not as dark. To be fair, we're not making much of a difference right now anyway. Let me check the AO. What have we got that set to? That looks reasonable. Not great, but reasonable. Bump the radius up though, because it's quite a soft surface, so you want it to be a softer shadow. And that is plugged in, right? Yeah, okay. Okay, so now we can go in and we can start adding the extra bits that's going on. I feel like we need some sort of directional noise going on with this. Let me see. Blend. I'm actually probably not even going to tweak the roughness because I think maybe a bit rougher, but 0.6. Concrete's like 0.6, so I think that should be about right for sandstone. Yeah, that looks about right to me. Okay, what was it doing? Oh, I want some random pox and stuff as well on the stone, don't I? Like we've got here with the chips and things. So let's just get some of them in first, then we'll carry on with the colours. I know I said we were done with the height information. I lied apparently. So, you know, fight me or sue me. Either way, you ain't gonna win. Okay, blend. We're gonna use, what did we use yesterday? Black and white noise? Yeah, let's use black and white noise. We'll go for 1 maybe. 1's very contrasty. So if we use that, random seed, scale it up so we get smaller pieces. We can use a histogram scan to grab just chunks of it, like so. Contrast that right up. Actually, we don't want too much contrast because it'd be nice if it was a bit softer. This might not be the right thing for it actually. Let's just try it, see how we get on. Because these are quite like big things. Set this to min darken. Wait, no, that won't help with it. Subtract, sorry, of course. Oh god. It's getting that time of the night, folks. Let's see what kind of effect this has on us. Yeah, I don't like how sharp that is. It's way too sharp. Let's sneak a cheeky little blare in here. Just sneak it in under your coat, like in the cinemas. Like two kids stood on each other's shoulders, just trying to get into a cinema. Actually, two kids can't stand on each other's shoulders. That'd be like Ouroboros. That's an infinite loop. But you know what I'm trying to say. That's better. Oh yeah, I like that. Not so much of it, but I do like it. So we can mask some of that out. I do quite like that actually. Yes, let's get this, but mask some of it out. So I'm going to do that here actually, and then take it into the histogram scan. Actually, I'm going to do it here, and then we get bled. We should all have the same kind of results then. So we've got a blend. What we're going to use to make sure this is how I want it to be. We can have... You know, I never use this library. We should actually look at it from time to time. What time are we on? 25 minutes. Right, okay. Got to be quicker with this because we're running out of time, folks. 25 minutes is not very much time at all to be doing this, but let's do it anyway. Let's use a grunge map. I never use grunge maps. This one. That looks like it's got a good dispersal. So just subtract with this. And feed that into there. And that should give us less results. Yeah, there you go. And that gives us nice. I want some more in the middle really, but we're getting in the right direction. So if I go to my grunge map, I can use my random seed to adjust the positioning of stuff, and yeah, that's more middle-like, more middle-ish. It's a little too strong, so if we reduce the strength of this, it will gradually reintroduce some parts. Yeah, that looks okay, I think. Ow. I need to stop saying ow every time my knee cracks. It doesn't hurt that much, it hurts and it catches me by surprise. And you guys are probably so sick of me saying ow all the time. Right, okay, so just a little bit more. Can we scale this? No. Alright, that's fine. Keep it like that. I quite like that. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're going to manually add some depth in the material, which you normally shouldn't do that much of, but I'm doing it, so that's how it is. Curvature. Gonna get on normal, plug it in there. This is cool for getting like edges of stuff, which I'm gonna do at the end. I don't know why I grabbed it now, but I want to have my own ambient occlusion thing. Like a separate one. They're all mine. I mean like a separate one. One day I'm going to have my own ambient occlusion node. It's to be special. So can we get it without the stone? Yes. So we use this. I'm going to invert that actually. I'm going to change this so it's not so damn strong. Actually, I don't want to invert it, do I? Do I? Bloody confusing myself now. Yeah, of course I want to invert it. Alright, sorry. Sometimes when I have to invert something and then I plan to invert the results as well, my brain goes, well, why are you inverting it if you're going to just invert it back? That's because you have to invert it to make certain changes, and then you want to invert the changes. So yeah, ignore me. It's getting to that time. It's getting to that time of the stream where my brain goes, you're done? I think you're done. Right, so we've got like a little soft mask. Just to be fair, it's not that different to that one. But it's just more, you know, what we want. And we're going to invert that result to get that mask. And then we can feed that into a darker thing. I'm going to use this one. Use an HSL. There's a hue, saturation, lightness. Plug that there. Make this slightly darker, slightly less saturated. Ooh, not that desaturated. plug this in as the mask, and that gives us darker areas where the inset is. Which again, you shouldn't really do this. Your shadow information should be in your ambient occlusion map. Not always, but most of the time. But it doesn't really hurt to add just a little bit of a boost in the base colour sometimes. And that's basically what we're doing. Actually, I'm going to saturate this more. Darken it some more. 19 minutes, folks. 19 minutes left. That's gone so quickly today. Alright, so now we're going to... I want to add some kind of patches of colour as well. Like, we've got some base variation, but there's not much going on when it comes to, like, strong patches of colour. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get... Move that there first. I'm going to get a blend node here. Why are you attached to that? I did not tell you to do that. Okay, get a blend node there. I can't even click things now. And I'm going to get a HSL again. Make this darker. Plug it in there, and I'm going to get like a directional noise, I think. Maybe 1. No, actually, instead I'm going to get, you guessed it, I'm going to get a Clouds 2 again, but this time I'm going to run the Clouds 2 through a directional warp. I'm going to feed a directional noise into that warp. Like so. If I set these to the same angle, it'll give it like a cool kind of effect. So 50. So this kind of business going on. I quite like that, but I want to set it to more like a straight up situation. And then if we get this, and we can sort of use like a levels or histogram scan just to pick out the bits that we want. So something like that's pretty cool. And I can use this and adjust the disorder on it and things to just get more what we're looking for. Something like that, I think. A bit smaller, a bit patchier. Just plug that in. And there, we've just got a bit of interesting variation. I'm going to saturate it more because in the reference it's quite saturated in the patches. Okay, so plug that into there. Alright, we're getting a bit closer now. We're getting a bit closer. This needs to be lighter. What's causing this? I think it might be... Oh, you should be there. I think it might be this causing too much information going on. Yes, I'm gonna crank this up a little bit just to not have it be so contrasty. Okay, so now it's a bit lighter, but it's still got some of that grainy stuff going on. It's pretty cool, I like that. 16 minutes, right, okay. We're making progress though, folks, we are making progress. Let's increase the intensity of the directional warp, just want to see what it does. Okay, now it gets too obvious. Let's knock it back down again. I quite like the look of that actually. I'm surprised, I didn't think I'd like it so much. Oh, that's better though. Yeah, we're going to do 2 of these instead. Instead of using a smaller scale, I'm going to do 2 of these. With slight variation. Variety, as they say, is the spice of life in it, so you've got to keep the variety in there. Gonna get an HSL going again. Gonna grab it from here like last time. Actually, I'm gonna duplicate this, use it as a starting point. Gonna make it slightly darker, slightly more saturated. And then we're gonna just copy this. Going to give each of these different random seeds so that we get completely different results. and we have to do minimal work to achieve those results. So just like that, we've got completely different things, completely different places with minimal work. I'll just reduce the strength of that. I'm actually going to stretch this as well. I like it when these are like wider, and it just looks better. Sometimes it breaks your tiling, so you just got to be careful doing that, because you have to make this tile afterwards. But it looks kind of cool when it's got wider actions going on rather than like jagged waves, if you know what I mean. So this is kind of like sharp wave. This is like softer wave. It's still not ideal, but you know, it's better than what I thought. It still looks pretty desaturated, but that's okay. Right, that's pretty cool. I'm not 100% happy with it, but we don't really have time for 100% happy. We never do in these 2-hour things, do we? So let's play the disorder till I find something I'm a bit happier with. Also, the histogram scan, I could probably change the position to give us a bit less. Yeah, and then go back in here, change the disorder again. Okay, that's better. Yeah, that kind of placement's pretty cool. And then we want to soften this bevel off if we can. It's bugging me a bit. So let's go to the bevel, which is up here. Yeah, so the original bevel is here. I just feel like this is a bit too harsh. So if we can soften this off just a smidge with our good friend Mr. Blair, not Tony, the HD Blair, then we can hopefully get something going on with this. Put the quality right up because it's so small. I want a nice detail. And we're talking minuscule amounts. Let's just see what happens. See, already nicer results because it's sandstone, you see, so it's really soft. So you gotta take that into consideration, especially with it being so old as well. It'll wear down over time. I feel like the depth might be a bit too extreme on the mask. Can we reduce that? Let's see. Would that just break it if I just simply reduce that? Wait, wrong one. Oh wait, the blur should be added here, shouldn't it? Wait, what was I doing with this? This is not connected properly. Oh yeah, it was. Sorry. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I'll tell you what, I'm losing it, man. He's losing it. Yes, that already looks better. And then we'll do the same for the next part here. With these results, just a tiny little bit. We want less of a blur on this though. Okay, I actually want to reduce the blur that we already had on this one now because it just seems a bit too strong looking overall. 0.4. Okay, 0.4 looks about right. It's got some sharpness, but it's still a bit softer. Alright, 10 minutes. This is the final countdown, so let's just adjust this. We need more saturation in this. I know it's already very saturated, but it's not really coming through that way. More saturation in this one. I might just reduce the opacity a bit on this as well. It's a bit cheaty, but it just with this kind of thing, I like the kind of washed out look on it. I kind of want to add some more stuff to it though. Just we're running out of time. Okay, what are we going to do next to it? What are we going to do next? Oh, edge highlights. Let's quickly get some edge highlights in, just so we've got some. They go right at the end. Because edge highlights are where things have been knocked. You get like lighter on the edges. I mean, this has got a lot of light on it, so it's not really helping, but yeah. Let's just do that. HSL. Lighten it slightly. Pop that in there. And then we got a curvature node. Let's have a look at curvature smooth. Okay, that gives us this, and then we can use a histogram select or histogram scan to decide which bit of this we want to use. And this just gives us a little bit of life on some of the pieces, you see? If you really crank the lightness up on this, you'll see just how much. So it's just nice to add a little bit of something like that to it. I'm going to actually might leave it like that. I know it's really bright, but yeah, it kind of catches it a bit. I like that. Ooh, yeah, actually more of that. Yeah, it looks pretty cool overall, actually. That's what I was looking for, some sort of like scuffy, scratchy business going on. It's not ideal, but it's getting better than it was. Looks pretty funky, doesn't it? Okay, I think about there looks okay. I'm a bit concerned about this part here, but we'll not worry about that right now. Alright, so what else? What else, folks? I feel like I'm missing something obvious that I've just simply forgot about. Oh, the pock marks. Let's get the pock marks a bit different coloured. Whoa, what did I just do to that? Okay. Don't do stuff like that, folks. I just accidentally connected my mask as like the main source. You don't want to do that. It doesn't look good. Right, so I'm going to very quickly do a little hacky situation. Get this. Get myself... I'm going to go for uniform colour this time. Actually, I'm going to duplicate the one from earlier. I'm going to make it a little darker. And I'm going to feed this into it, which isn't strictly correct, but it's what I'm doing right now. Just to give a little bit of extra life. See, before, and that just kind of breaks things up a little bit. There's kind of too much rest going on around here. So that just kind of, it kind of reiterates that there's pocks and things there. There's something I'm not liking about this, and I'm not sure exactly what it is right now. Oh, we want like drips, maybe get some rain drips going on. Can we do that? Have we got time for that? I think so. I'm trying to remember how I normally do this now. I think I normally get... Okay, hang on. If I get a normal node, make it quite strong. And then if I use an RGB split, I can plug this into here. I can grab green, which is the up-down direction. And I can use histogram scan again to grab the information from that I want. Just like that. And then I can use, oh, was it? Is it directional? I forgot how I used to do this. You can make drips basically. Do you invert it? I think you invert the input. Man, it's been so long since I've done this. No, it's not invert the input. Maybe invert the warp. That's not it. Anywho, there's a way of doing it. I just can't remember it right now, so that's okay. We just won't do that. There's actually a dripping rust. Oh, is that a preset? Yeah, we don't really want to use presets, but let's just see. Curvature. Okay, we've got a curvature here. Yeah, this isn't good, is it? Yeah. We don't want to use that. God, I really wish I could remember what I used to do, but it used to make great curves. I've got to look that up because it's really bugging me. It was a really good way of doing it. Black and white spots, directional warp. No, I can't remember. It's gone. It'll come back one day. If I look through some of my old stuff, I'll be able to see it, I'm sure. Uh, 3 minutes left, folks. In fact, the playlist is finished. That's how close we are to the time running out. That's a pretty cool thing, isn't it? I feel like we just need one more colour in this. I'm going to add one more variation, okay? I think that will be us done then. 2 minutes, okay, just enough time. Blend. Gonna grab this guy. Gonna make him lighter this time. Desaturate him slightly. Plug it in there, and then we're gonna get a cheeky Clouds 2. Directional warp 2 minutes. Oh, we're getting close. 60. Just something really nuts. Histogram scan. I really want to expand the amount of nodes that I use often. So I always seem to use the same ones repeatedly. It's not like all the time, but quite often. So that's a nice little variation there, see? From that to that. Although I want it to be before the dark stuff if I can. So I don't kill it. Plug this into there instead. Come on, not much time, 1 minute. Okay, that to that. Okay, that breathed a little bit more life into it. It's a bit different now, isn't it? Make this lighter again. No, I like it like that. Okay, right, and that, I think, folks, that is our time. Nothing overly spectacular, but something, you know. Just quickly desaturate that. Get more contrast. We've still got a little bit of time. Okay, the song is finished, so we are now done. Okay, and we are done. The timer is done. So, folks, let's have a look at what we've done today. This was the result of today's one. It's not perfect. It's far from it. I'll just quickly tile this down a little bit. Actually, I'll leave it like that. Yeah, it's not perfect, but I'm happy enough with it. I'm happy enough for 2 hours work. We've got some hieroglyphs in there. We've got some stuff. Thank you. We've got some rock in there. We've got some colour variation. I want to keep working on it, but I'm not going to right now. But this could look nice with a bit more time, a bit more effort, a bit more energy. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching, folks. I really appreciate you guys being around. Tomorrow is going to be a different one. Let me just have a look a second. Let's see, so we can tick off prehistoric from our ticky ticks now. 3, 2, 1. Tick off ancient, I mean. Boof. There we go, ancient is ticked. Tomorrow, ooh, medieval, nice. What am I going to do for medieval? That's an interesting one. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that. So I'll be back same time, 8 o'clock tomorrow night, folks. So I hope you all have a wonderful night. I hope you're all staying safe and well, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.